Welcome everyone, KD here with a short update about my game, Zone World in Pieces. Short disclaimer, nothing you see here is final, this is still a work in progress. But I wanted to give you a short update about what happened with the progression system. I'm making progress, very slow progress, but that's just how it is at the moment. It's how it's structured because there are so many things going hand in hand with this. So the general layout to set kind of up this the main structure, it just takes some time, and I mean, I kind of wish it would go faster, but um, there's just so much time I can spend for this project at the moment, and um, yeah. But here, when we go to the character progression, the specific character progression, here are all the attributes, and I finally set everything up. This took a little bit forever. It doesn't seem like much, um, but it took its time until set everything up. So what we have here is just here we can upgrade. If you have the right items, you can upgrade certain um, attributes for in exchange for experience points. I explained this already pretty deep, so I want to go a little bit further. Then we have the ability tiers again. I explained this in another update a lot deeper. I may go back to this and uh, give you maybe some kind of more tutorial for how it is meant to play in another video. So I will only go over this short, and these are these ability tiers are um, there are separate ability tiers for different aspects of your character. So here are jobs, training, and weapons. These are kind of, so I mean, weapons are combat, but these are more outside of combat. Um, I don't want to go too much into this because I did this in another video, and I want to keep this really short this time. So, but these are not the only abilities you can learn. They're a little bit spread in different categories. I will come back to this later. And so on the jobs, this is the reason why one reason why it's kind of a little bit getting slow is jobs are, um, they give you a little small buff to your characters if you level up your jobs, but also what more is they give you options for you can do for in the world or uh, and other things. So as example, the searcher, when we go over it, then we get a small description what this job, small job description. So searcher, um, it will give you as example the option to interact with certain assets in the world and things like that, and that can only do this character. And there will be kind of searcher is the main job of Arwin, and it will kind of be like this, that every character has a main job, and then there will be some sub jobs, if you want to call them like this, that the characters can learn. And there are probably some jobs that, I mean, uh, that is not only for one character but for multiple characters. So multiple characters can learn them. Um, as example, handyman is a sub job here, and that what this does is it opens up the crafting part and improving items and stuff like that. So handyman is very simple. What you can do is improve your backpack. You can create certain items like ammunition, uh, holsters, weapon holsters, and stuff like that. And then what it is with these jobs is you can improve the jobs itself by learning new job abilities, like as example, there will be the another job that will be called Tanner, and with Tanner you then can also create leather armor and things like that. Then there will probably be blacksmith or anything like that, and then you can start to create metal armor and maybe weapons and stuff like that. But absolutely, then the more specific jobs that do uh, um, how should I say, the more specific jobs you can learn, then this may be then more rare, so only one or two characters can learn that and other characters can't learn it, so it's a little bit, not everyone can do everything. That's kind of the thing here. But let's go further here. So here, that's new now is the job levels. What you see here is we have here the different job levels. I just set up or started to set it up for searcher for the first job, and you see because it's the main. Let's go to that later. So what we see here is the job level. So every job has a level. You can improve the job level by job points. I will come to job points later, how you can get them. And then you see here again a short description, what is this job actually, and then job buffs are kind of how your character improves while you improve your job level. So you see you get some small improvements, and then as further as you improve your job level, as more points you get. So you see you get 2 health, 2 energy bonus, you get strength bonus and cleverness, and then you do a little bit more armor damage, and your energy recovery will be faster in desert areas because this job is kind of for specific for the desert. Then when we go here, it's kind of like we had here in the attributes. So we have, if we have the right item, the plus sign will go up. Here we have a job point, so we can level it up, and then we see what happens. So when we level it up, then health goes +1, and so on. And what we see here, if we go on the cost, so we see it costs 1 job point, and then we see that the experience you need to cost is pretty high right now. I'm not sure if I will keep it like this, but I kind of had the feeling that you can get experience pretty fast, so I kind of have to make certain things a little bit more expensive. So I don't make it grindy, because there won't be any microtransactions or anything like that in the game, that so you can avoid the grindy part. That's not like it is. But I kind of have to find a balance. If you at any moment have always enough experience points, just by without big grinding, big fighting as many monsters as possible, and just kind of more running through the story more or less, then it shouldn't be that you have always enough money, so you can have always enough experience points, so you have always the chance to just really learn every single ability. If you play like this, you kind of have to manage the abilities for yourself. So which abilities do I want to learn right now? Because I only have this amount of experience points. So, and that's kind of the balance I kind of want to find. So if you have always enough experience points, then a certain aspect of the game is lost. At least that's my feeling. Absolutely You also want to reward the players that take their time, that go grinding, go fighting more monsters, and want to level up their characters. So that's why I kind of want to have to find a balance here, and that's why I start to make some aspects a little bit more expensive with the experience points. Um, like I said, exactly for this reason, so the player has to figure out for what do I want to spend the experience points, and if you don't have enough, then you maybe want to go back in a certain area, fight some more monsters, grind some experience points so you can learn the abilities. So that's just important for me to explain. The game has a certain grindy aspect to it to um, reward people that play like this. Um, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the whole thing with the progression system, that it is really rewarding, absolutely, for people who go out of the way to not only play through the story, but also do side quests and stuff like that, and get for that extra items, new abilities to learn, and more experience points, and things like that. Um, but of course, it shouldn't be so grindy that you need to play hours upon hours fighting monsters so you can learn one simple ability. So there will be an important balance there. But at the moment, I kind of have the feeling if you that you maybe the experience points is extremely strongly connected to how strong your enemy is, and that means you get a lot of experience points if you defeat a stronger enemy, uh, and that's why I kind of have the feeling that you get pretty fast in the game more experience points. So that's why at the moment, that the tendency is more to go for a little bit more expensive stuff. But we will see. Maybe the demo version will hopefully give me a little bit a hint. In which direction I then have to balance the costs of everything. So when we level up here, then we see that we got everything here, and this is still a bug that kind of annoys me, so this didn't go away. Let me hope. No, okay, I restarted. Sorry about that. Okay, we're back here. Yeah, this is a bug that is annoying. Yeah, I made it right now that we always have a new job point. Yeah, that's something I have to figure out. Kind of have an idea how I can do it. I just didn't do it so far. So now to the job points, so we can finish this video. Job points. You can earn job points by doing different tasks in the game itself. These tasks again are kind of on the grindy side. It's kind of like defeat so many monsters with this weapon, destroy so many armor parts, do so much with this specific weapon, so much armor damage, and all the stuff that are connected to the world. So when we go down here, boulders smashed and stones found, that's more something that will be in the world. So probably you won't see this in the demo version. I will probably blend this out. Anyway, so these are different tasks. If you finish these tasks, you get the job point. And then, I mean, right now it's like Aspie is Stonebreaker, the weapon he has in the hand right now. So if you defeat 5 enemies, then you get the job point. And then this task will, then there will be the next tier of this task, or the next level of this task, however you want to call it. And then you maybe have to kill 20 enemies. As soon as you have killed 20 enemies, again you will get the next level, and then maybe it's 100 enemies. That's kind of how it works. And like I said, it kind of, the tasks will also kind of a little bit build so like that you have to do maybe something you don't do in combat, so you maybe have to sometimes go out a little bit out of your way, how you like to fight, to get certain tasks done, so you can get more job points, so you can level up your job. Job points will be for every specific job, will have its own job points and its own tasks. And here for the main job we have quite a bit of tasks. There will be maybe even more at the end. I will see, and then maybe for the other ones like handyman there will be maybe only 2 or 3 tasks, and it will be a little bit more difficult to level this up. But like I said, you can, what I don't know right now is like if I will do kind of upgrade the job. So if you learn the tanner ability, then if this will be, the handyman will be upgraded, and then you will get extra task, or if the tanner will be a separate job with its own tasks. So that's just something I have to figure out what's the best to do here. But that's more or less it with the job level. I said this, I want to keep this video short. I like to talk a lot about this stuff. The progression system is very important to me, and I hope when you play the game you will hopefully see why it's so important that it has so many different elements, and I hope that you find it very interesting, and that the rewarding aspect of this progression system will kind of keep you hooked with the game, that you want to, oh, I want to finish this task before I want to go further, and so I can learn this ability and stuff like that. And everything is a little bit connected. So certain abilities you can maybe only learn with a certain job level. However, a certain job you can only learn with a certain ability. You can only craft this item if you have a certain ability. You can only learn an ability if you crafted this item, or if you improved this item to a certain level. So everything is kind of hand in hand, and that's why the progress is very slow, how it works. So I kind of want to keep you more updated, like I did in I didn't do a lot of live streams and stuff for my channel lately, and I feel a little bit bad. I know these updates don't get a lot of views and so on, but still, I kind of I want to do more live streams and so on. However, just this part here, the progression system and everything, the whole, to set up the whole structure, I just don't feel like I want to do this on a live stream. First, it's not that interesting. It's very repetitive work at moments. It's a lot of things in the widget, working with the widgets, just setting up numbers to a certain text and stuff like that. Also, because this is maybe not the most interesting work, I kind of like to get in the zone, listen to music and just work instead of having to talk. And then the third thing is I kind of want to keep this how things are connected in this, how exactly these abilities are connected with each other. So the details, not like overview explanation like I did now, but the details I kind of want to keep this secret. So so the player has to figure out certain things on its own. So these are the 3 aspects. But what I want to do is to do more live streams again, because I did a lot of live streams in the last 2 months, and this month I don't think, I maybe did 1 or 2 live streams so far, and I really want to go, maybe not daily but very regularly, and I think the best way to do this is kind of change my way from before. So before I kind of had this, I had no real structure, and I kind of did live streams when I had time. So there is a couple of difficulties with this. One is that the viewers don't know when I do the live stream. So I kind of what I know I want to do is to do really structure. So there will be a live stream at that time at that certain day, and then will kind of what I also did was kind of like managing before I even the stream started how long the stream will go. So I had this separation between marathon streams and short streams. So marathon streams were 3 hours plus, and short streams were 1 hour 90 minutes around there. And I kind of want to go away from that, so I will start the stream at a certain point and then it will just go as long as it will take. And I want to do this more, so I will start today again with doing the streams. And what is important, the important thing is I will build a structure, so I don't have this structure as schedule yet, but I will see how it will work. But the important thing is that the viewer know when I start, and then the stream will just go as long as it takes. So at the moment, because I'm very focused um, on this part, on the progression system, and like I said, I don't think I will stream too much about the progression system, at least by setting it up. Um, Setting up the main structure, I won't stream too much, so these streams will be maybe a little bit shorter on the shorter terms for the beginning, and then when we get to a little bit more interesting stuff, maybe also 3D modeling, texturing, and things like that anyway take a lot of time, then maybe the streams will get longer again. Anyway, that I wanna end the stream here again. Sorry, it was a little bit longer, but yeah, there are certain things I wanna sometimes talk about because with the whole YouTube thing and like that, I still wanna figure out how exactly I'm gonna do the content, and so on. And the second thing is I really wanna push the demo version so that in the next weeks there will be something that you guys can play, that is public and you guys can play. Anyway, thank you for watching. You will get more updates. I will try to keep them shorter.